Welcome to the design launch of our 2021 driverless electric race car M21. Join us as we reflect on Welcome to the design launch of our 2021 driverless electric race car M21. Join us as we reflect on the history of the team and explore how M21 seeks to finish what we started.
2020 saw the team face unique challenges when working from home. Since we were unable to access our workshop on campus or meet up in person, we were presented with an opportunity to gain a deeper understanding of the digital resources we have available, such as making better use of our CAD program NX, rendering tools like Keyshot, and simulation programs like Ansys and HyperWorks. With the opportunity to return to in-person work in 2021, and with so many hours spent developing our new hybrid model, our team now has the flexibility to better utilise both the physical and virtual resources we have at our disposal. The new makerspace area has also provided the team with a much larger workshop and is able to accommodate our growing team members. The new composites, fabrication and electrical bays, alongside a wealth of tools and support made possible by our sponsors, have put us in the best possible position for the manufacture of our highly advanced vehicle concept. We also have the opportunity to share the space with our fellow student teams like Monash high-powered rocketry, precious plastics and unmanned aerial systems, fostering the continued growth of the Monash student team community.
With our 2020 European campaign ended by the COVID-19 outbreak, we chose to pivot our resources and make use of the now extended time at home by starting work on our 2021 vehicle concept. We knew that with the majority of 2020 available to us for design time, we had a unique opportunity to set our sights on major concept changes that would otherwise have taken several design cycles to achieve. We knew that our previous electric vehicles had been designed conservatively, seeking to maximise the team's testing and driving time over outright performance. This meant that we could maximise the time available to us to overcome the challenges posed by an electric drivetrain. Furthermore, by maximising the similarity with our combustion vehicle, we were also able to minimise the resources required to manufacture two cars. While we have a long and storied history in combustion cars, and in spite of our obvious fondness to continue challenging the combustion Formula SAE class, in 2019, with the successful launch of our One Team, Three Cars campaign, we felt it was time to set our sights on a challenge reflective of the automotive and technology industries as a whole. We set our sights on a much more ambitious and high-performing concept, which is now M21.
From the introduction of our first ever electric vehicle in 2017 to the successful implementation of our autonomous systems in 2019, the 2021 slogan highlights the culmination of many years' work across multiple generations of Monash Motorsport team members. In 2021, our goal is to finish what we started and deliver our team's first ever driverless electric race car capable of both driven and driverless racing. This goal would not be possible without the generous and unwavering support of our sponsors. Join us as we introduce the next generation of Monash Motorsport vehicle. This is M21.
M21's vehicle concept was mainly driven by three key aspects of the design that make it significantly different from any other Monash Motorsport vehicle. Firstly, when it comes to the aerodynamic design, we took on a very holistic approach to the development of the package, and this ultimately drove many of the high-level decisions that we made for this vehicle. Furthermore, with our second generation carbon fibre monocoque, we've been afforded a lot more design freedom to maximise the aerodynamic performance of the car. The greatest challenge of this year's vehicle concept is the integration of our autonomous systems alongside our advanced vehicle control. Having gained lots of experience developing our perception, path planning and actuation systems on M19D with the support of our key sponsors, and alongside our move to solely focus on all-electric, all-wheel drive powertrain, we are better positioned than ever before to tackle the challenges of the driverless competition. These advancements in the vehicle's fundamental technology make M21 Monash Motorsport's most ambitious vehicle concept ever.
Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started. Welcome to the Monash Motorsport 2021 Design Launch Night. We're extremely excited to introduce you to our new, exciting driverless electric vehicle concept, M21. My name is Benjamin Wang. I'm the 2021 Head of Business at Monash Motorsport, and I will be your MC for tonight. To start off with, I'd like to welcome the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Elizabeth Croft, to speak.
Thanks very much, Benjamin. Well, everyone, welcome to the Monash Motorsport Launch Night, and welcome to one of the first events in our Woodside building for technology and design. My name is Elizabeth Croft. I am the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, and it is my pleasure to open this event on this evening by acknowledging the people of the Kulin Nations on whose land we are gathered. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, and for those on which you stand, for those joining us online, wherever you may be right now. And I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. You know, the very first content that we actually showed in this space was not about a car, but it was actually a discussion hosted by the Wamanjika Jijibana Research Lab on Indigenous Knowledge Systems. Western culture is starting to understand and appreciate Indigenous Australians' engineering and scientific wisdom, and we have much to learn from the oldest living continuous culture on Earth. As engineers, we have an acute responsibility to our community, and I do know that our Monash students will leave fully prepared to exercise that responsibility in an ethical and respectful way. And I do think that our engineering students will be familiar with this building by now for having 7 weeks of classes here, but it's probably the first time that some of our visitors have been welcomed to this fantastic space. This building is a partnership between ourselves and Woodside Energy, created specifically to help our community, students, academics, and industry, to embrace innovation, cutting-edge technology, and to develop new solutions in sustainable energy. This is one of the most efficient and innovative teaching buildings in the world, part of our net zero commitment to create more energy than we consume. And it is a living lab. It is instrumented throughout and through the roof, figuratively and literally. We actually instrumented the beams that run through this building for our civil engineers to study the movement of the building. And here, as you can see at Monash, we are committed to hands-on learning. You saw tonight that the Makerspace is home to many of our teams and clubs, but also to students, academics, and community. This Monash Makerspace allows us to welcome everyone to use a first-class, state-of-the-art fabrication facility and prototyping center. By co-locating it with the Monash generator, we are able to help our community transfer their ideas into reality. In the last few years, we have launched 10 successful startups from the faculty, and with the students here tonight representing many of our student teams, I expect that number to rise as we pool our resources together. So welcome. Welcome to the 2021 Monash Motorsport Design Launch, where we will meet the M21. Monash Motorsport is one of the most popular teams, which is quite an achievement when you consider that we have almost 30 clubs and teams supported in this faculty. The team has, as you've seen, achieved international success with a top-ranked combustion engine in the Formula Student World Ranking 2020 and third place for their electric engine. I know that the M21 has been designed to enter the Formula Student Driverless competition, and I have no doubt whatsoever that our team will soon claim top spot. At Monash Engineering, our student clubs and teams provide a place for our students to come together and practice what they are learning through their degree, and actually practice more than what they're learning, because it is really an opportunity to come together to learn how to put real-world learning into action. To run a major organization like Monash Motorsport is a significant feat. Our students regularly win international competitions. They are successful in the Mars rover competition, sustainable energy efficient residential designs, innovative medical technology, really, really good craft beer. Our students' passions and prowess flourish in these student-led, and can I emphasize, student-led clubs and teams. Student-led, student-managed, student-driven, and that shows the kind of leadership that we have among our student body. This makes our graduates more experienced, more employable, and more knowledgeable, and very much in demand by industry. So before I hand it back to the team, I do want to extend some thank you to the people whose hard work and dedication has brought us here tonight. Thank you to the team sponsors, both those who are here in person and those who are joining us live on stream, including platinum sponsors ABB, Baraja, Calm Aluminum, Formasign, Go Proto, Leap Australia, Morand, Phoenix PLM, and SMC. I want to thank Benjamin Wong and the team from the business department at Monash Motorsport, plus Jack Church, Ben Robinson, and Malhar Parker for bringing us here tonight for this event, and of course to the entire team who have contributed heart and soul to the design of the M21. And finally, I would like to thank and recognize Dr. Scott Worldley, Director of Student Teams and Clubs, Professor Chris Davies, Head of Department in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, and other colleagues from the faculty who have supported this team for so many years. I'm looking forward to you guys finishing what you started. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Croft, for those kind words. We really appreciate you being here tonight. We have quite a bit of ground to cover tonight, and we're very excited to be able to have the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Professor Elizabeth Croft, to speak here with us tonight. Our upper management team, who you may have spotted in the video, will be providing an overview of our car, our team's vision and goals for this year, and the story which has led us to where we are today. Our individual heads of department will then dive a little deeper into the respective teams and the key objectives and deliverables that each department has set for themselves in 2021. We will conclude our presentation with Adrian Feeney, a representative and chairman and CEO of SAE Australia, who we would like to invite to give a special presentation. We would then like to invite all audience members and live stream attendees to ask questions. We will also be holding additional workshop tours, so don't stress if you missed out earlier on, and food will continue to be served. Before we dive into the fun part of tonight's event, I'd just like to raise a few housekeeping matters. Firstly, as this event is in line with Monash University's COVID-19 policies, we ask that everybody seated here tonight please put on your face-fitting masks. If you're unable to wear a mask, please come and collect one if you don't have one with you. Secondly, please ensure your phones and electronic devices are set to silent. And finally, please leave all questions to the end of the presentation. The nearest bathrooms are down the hall on your right, on both the ground and the first floor, should you need. In the case of an emergency, the nearest assembly area is the oval behind me. Please make your way smoothly through these doors here. I would now like to pass it over to our Chief Operating Officer, Malhar Parker, and our upper management team to reflect on the history of what got our team here and to introduce you all to M21.
Thank you, Ben. So my name is Malhar and I am the Chief Operating Officer for Monash Motorsport. Joining me in upper management this year are Jack Church as Chief Executive Officer and Ben Robinson as Chief Technical Officer. We would like to take this opportunity to reflect on the last few years of the team. So in 2019, we built our very first driverless car, M19D, and that got us the status of one team, 3 cars. Our slogan for the year was to integrate, refine and evolve with the intention to breach the gap to the top performing Formula student teams across the world. At the Australasian competition in 2019, both M19C and M19E battled teams across the world in both static and dynamic events. After a long weekend of intense competition, we were crowned the victors in both the combustion and electric classes. Our victory was marked with an update of the world rankings, which are updated to reflect the results of the latest competitions across the world. After our win at the Australasian competition, we have retained the world rankings of number 1 in the combustion class and number 3 in the electric class. 2020 saw us preparing for our first driverless competition in Europe and our first overseas campaign, this time with 3 cars. Our slogan for the year was to develop, commit and deliver. Unfortunately, due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent lockdown, we were unable to travel overseas or carry out any in-person activities. I would now like to pass it over to Jack, who will talk a bit about how we made use of last year and what we are going to do moving forward.
Thank you very much, Mal. So despite the upcoming European competitions being cancelled in 2020, we took last year as an opportunity to reset and prepare for the future of Formula Student. The increasing significance of driverless technology has been spurred on by recent developments in industry and have made this technology relevant and more accessible to the everyday consumer. This has been reflected in the increasing number of Formula Student competitions worldwide that have opened a driverless class. With our current driverless platform, M19D, performing at an extremely high standard, the team was ready to take the leap into the next level of the Formula Student competition. This involved a restructuring of the team, which aimed to encourage our development of integrated electric driverless technology and foster an integrated approach to our design process. In order to take advantage of our position and the extended time available to us last year when working from home, the team made the decision to cease development of our combustion vehicles and commence the design of our most ambitious entry yet, the integrated electric driverless car M21. I just want to take a moment to celebrate all the success that combustion cars have brought the team over the years, as well as thank all the past team members and sponsors that have helped us to build this legacy. We've prepared a short video to commemorate the closing of this chapter in the team's history. Alrighty, so now, 2021. With the easing of COVID-19 restrictions, we were allowed to resume our in-person activities, and this included moving into our new home in the Monash Makerspace just across the road. Our new workshop facilities include dedicated specialised bays for machining, composites, electrical, fabrication and sanding work, as well as more area for us as a team to accommodate our growing base of team members. Every year, the team conducts a vision and values workshop where we have the chance to adjust and alter the way the team is run and what we're aiming to do for the upcoming year. This has been a staple of our planning and is the reason why we've been able to expect and operate at a high standard year on year. Our vision in 2021 remains to be the most respected Formula SAE team in the world, and supported by our values of performance, camaraderie, professionalism and learning, we're well on our way. For the past 21 years, Monash Motorsport has been steadily working towards this vision, from our first win at FSAE Australasia in 2009, our first electric vehicle in 2017, and the implementation of our autonomous systems in 2019. We've been building towards our concept this year. In 2021, our motto is to finish what we started. This represents all the past achievements and legacy of Monash Motorsport, our present goals with M21 and our future direction into electric driverless technology. I would now like to pass over to Ben to talk a little bit more about our new car. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much, Jack. So after extensive concept development through last year, we are proud to announce our new aerodynamics-focused concept with an all-wheel drive electric powertrain, M21. However, the greatest challenge in this vehicle is the integration of our autonomous pipeline. For the first time ever in the team's history, we've designed all systems on M21 to be compatible with our autonomous systems from the start, future-proofing our concept for future competitions, and enabling us to push the frontier of autonomous technology development in Australia. You can see here some key performance indicators for M21 as it stands currently before we finish manufacturing. We are looking at an estimated car mass of 237 kilos with simulated coefficients of lift and drag of -5.02 and 1.81 respectively, a track width of 1300 millimeters and a wheelbase of 1550 millimeters. Also based on simulation, we expect to be able to achieve 80 kilowatts for endurance in both charge and discharge. Our concept is centered around our 13-inch Goodyear tyres, the D2704s, and with our carbon fibre monocoque chassis, we've been able to utilise extensive geometric freedom to further enhance our aerodynamic platform. This freedom enabled us to utilise direct acting suspension at the front of the car and allowed us to implement push-rod suspension at the rear of the car to further improve our aerodynamic concept. In terms of powertrain, we have 4 Fisher electromotor motors powering each corner of the car through a custom-designed gearbox, with 2 Lenser inverters driving 2 motors at each end of the car. For our battery pack, or accumulator as we call it, we've gone with lithium-ion cells, pouch cells, provided by Molasta. I would now like to introduce our heads of department, Jordan Esch, head of our autonomous systems, Ben Wang, who you've already met, our head of business, Jessica Lee, our head of electrical systems, Jack Bell, our head of dynamics, and Maxis Darzens, our head of structures.
Thanks, Ben. The goal for the Autonomous Systems Department in 2020, and now evolving in 2021, is to fully integrate into our newest vehicle concept. In addition to this, we aim to increase the robustness of the autonomous software pipeline to provide a solid foundation for us to begin performing on track at a higher level. Much of the software development within autonomous systems for M21 was only minimally impacted during 2020, and as such, we have a whole suite of new features and upgrades that we're keen to put onto M21. Helping us to lead the way in driverless technology, our sponsors have been crucial in the assistance they've provided. We'd like to thank our silver sponsors, Xenon, for their high-performance computing units, and Adept Turnkey for the Basler Ace stereoscopic cameras they've kindly provided for us. We're also excited to welcome our first ever software tier sponsors, Embotech, and thank them for the use of the Forces Pro optimization software. And especially our platinum sponsors, Baraha, for the use of their Spectrum Flex LiDAR system, and SMC Australia for their reliable electro-pneumatic components. These sponsors have had a direct impact on our designs and the performance our cars are able to achieve. The Spectrum Flex LiDAR system, with which M21 will be able to see up to 40 metres ahead of it, provides a staggering improvement compared to our previous system, increasing our confidence in knowing what the environment around the car looks like. This paves the way for further advancement of our software, including a newly developed neural network which is able to detect objects from point cloud images at up to 50 frames per second. This computational load will be handled on an NVIDIA Jetson AGX Xavier, neatly packaged in our new, more deeply integrated computing enclosure, shaving almost 2 kilograms off our design for our current driverless vehicle, M19D. With functionality and accessibility in mind, the computing units on M21 will be split into 2 separate housings, with the rear main enclosure containing the more commonly accessed units, such as the Xavier and our state machine circuitry. The front housing, neatly hidden away inside the front access hatch of the monocoque, contains additional circuitry such as our GPS boards, which we don't access as frequently. We're also excited to announce that we're starting development this year into a custom model predictive controller implementation using the Forces Pro software. This will allow us to better understand and optimize the control problem, which is how the vehicle should react for our specific application. Whilst the construction of M21 is in full swing, we aim to test and validate many of these new systems and developments on M19D, including our autonomous system brake with electro-pneumatic components from SMC for the safety critical system. M21 will be Monash Motorsport's first car designed from the ground up with driverless capabilities in mind. As such, we've had more freedom in how we design, and this year we feel we've created a well thought out, compact concept. As of now, we'll continue to test advancements on our software on M19D. Once built, we will transfer our sensors and hardware components onto M21 and begin further validation and testing of our performance improvements. I'd now like to hand you over to Jack Bell, who will go over our dynamics department.
Sorry to jump in here. As the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering is quite a busy role, I'd just like to thank Professor Elizabeth Croft for coming tonight. I think she has to take off very shortly. So thank you very much for coming. Can we just give Professor Croft a round of applause for coming today? Now I'd like to pass it over to Jack Bell.
Evening all. My name is Jack Bell and I'm the Head of Dynamics for Monash Motorsport. The goal for the Dynamics department for M21 was to extract as much performance as possible, both aerodynamically and vehicle dynamically, and build off the fantastic platform that was M19. To do this, we aim to increase the aerodynamic performance and efficiency of the vehicle over M19. We've been successful in achieving this, with M21 car having 60% more aerodynamic performance over M19. On the vehicle dynamic side of things, we now have a new challenge of integrating with an all-wheel drive powertrain system and a high-performing aerodynamic package. We have done all this whilst maintaining the use of the Goodyear tyres we used on M19 with success. To achieve these goals with M21, we embarked on an extensive computational fluid dynamics design period, where we worked hard on modelling our car at different vehicle attitudes, with a specific focus on designing and understanding our aerodynamic sensitivities. We did all this with specific CLA and aerodynamic balance targets in mind. For vehicle dynamics, we have worked to implement a vehicle controller to utilise the performance benefit of our all-wheel drive package. As well as that, we have designed the suspension geometry package to integrate with the all-wheel drive powertrain and build upon the previous year's setup. None of this work could have been possible without the help of our sponsors, one of which I want to draw attention to is LEAP, who provide us with access to Answers Fluent, our CFD program of choice, which allows us to efficiently simulate the aerodynamic performance of our package. Another sponsor I want to reference is Air & Allied, who provide us with a number of products, including car testing and setup tools, shown above, which help to further our understanding at testing to better inform our decisions on track. Currently, our aero moulds are nearing completion. We have begun a number of carbon fibre layups off these aero moulds, as well as we've begun manufacture of our internal structure of our aerodynamic devices, some of which are made from 3D printed onyx, which is done on campus at Woodside. We have also been conducting a number of vehicle dynamics tests to further our understanding about the Goodyear D2704 tyres, as well as working on our drivers to extract more performance from them. I'd now like to hand over to Jess Lee, who will talk about electrical systems.
Hello everyone. So our goal for this design period was to facilitate our all-wheel drive concept while optimizing our previous designs. We're targeting higher performance output, accounting for brake regeneration, while minimizing packaging compared to previous years. In addition, we wanted to fully integrate autonomous systems with our LV design, so that this car is built from the ground up as a driverless vehicle. We're also continuing development of parts for future MMS cars, including development of a custom silicon carbide inverter and HV to LV converter and distribution system. For M21, we have designed an accumulator with a single P config of low impedance Malasta cells. This gives us a 138S 1P 580 volt pack that we can push to supply our twin Lenza inverters for 80 kilowatts discharge. In addition, we have designed a fully self-developed distributed battery management system. Our BMS design is the culmination of work that began in 2019 and grants us massive advantages in mass and packaging. Additionally, safety systems have also been designed for our local and international competitions, alongside our loom, which will fully integrate with autonomous systems and this year be a 24-volt system. Sponsors have been critical in providing our department with the components that we need to make a robust high-performance system. Thank you to our platinum sponsors, Monash University, who provided us with our Lenza inverters via the Automotive Research Grant. Thank you also to GoProto, who provide us with high-quality printing and fire-retardant filaments for efficiently packaged tractive component enclosures. MRC has once again also provided water jet cutting for our copper cell connections, which will be clamped this year, with voltage taps integrated into the bus bars. Prolec has also supported not only our accumulator with a high voltage DC fuse, but grounding blocks and switches for our LV systems. BioEnno has once again provided us with 24-volt batteries for our low voltage system, and Triathm has supported our wiring with high quality cable lugs and cable glands suitable for our LV and HV lines. Currently, our department is completing the bulk of manufacturing in the lead up to testing on the Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering Department mechanical dyno. This is a big milestone for the department and will be a major component in our integrated system testing before driving. We'll be mounting our systems on the dyno for motor control tuning, and we're also aiming to validate our low voltage safety systems and tractive interactions. Concurrently, our LV system is being developed, with wiring harness assembly scheduled to begin shortly. Following dyno testing, we'll be unmounting and installing our components on the chassis, ready for driving. Thanks for listening. I'll now pass on to Max Starsons for structures.
Thank you, Jess. I'm Max Darzens, the Head of Structures for 2021. So we've had a very simple goal this year, and that is thorough structural design, working with all the other departments to achieve all the requirements they desire to produce this revolutionary all-wheel drive concept. M21 is a development on M19E, but with newly designed concepts Some of these are the brand new accumulator design that Jess touched on, as well as planetary gearboxes, outboard motors, and a brand new monocoque chassis, as Ben touched on earlier. This was all achieved through countless hours of CAD and simulation, and then brought to life with in-house and external manufacturing. This manufacturing is where all of you sponsors have really stepped in. I'd like to thank our platinum sponsors, or Structures Platinum sponsors, Calm Aluminium, Morand, Phoenix PLM, Leap Australia and SMC for helping us out this year and really being the backbone to getting this M21 concept off the ground. And also would like to thank all of the gold, silver and other sponsors for helping us out this year. So what's next? We're currently in the busiest part of the year in our manufacturing period. We're currently constructing M21 with lots of in-house machining, composite layups, as well as working with the sponsors for all sorts of outsourcing. In the future, we look forward to making innovations in custom motor design, as well as monocoque mass reduction, just to name a few. Now I'll hand you back to Ben for a business update.
Thanks, Maxis. As we move to tackle our most challenging and ambitious vehicle concept ever, the business department has seen commensurate growth to help facilitate the smooth operation across sponsorship, marketing, events, and design. The business department is now the largest it has ever been since its inception, and with team members from a diverse range of faculties, ranging from communication design, marketing, finance, and law, our team is now better equipped than ever before to handle the challenges that face MMS in the coming years. With that future-focused vision in mind, and in the wake of easing restrictions and increased in-person events, our team is working harder than ever to roll out STEM and education-focused engagement activities and workshops for schools and school students, so that the next generation of engineering, science, IT, or computer science students can get the best possible picture of the exciting opportunities that await them in uni. Of note, we recently held a workshop, tour and presentation for Year 6 to 8 students from Mentone Girls Grammar School. We were extremely proud with the level of engagement and participation from the students, as well as the really great work that our team members did to help facilitate this event. I'll now pass it back to Ben Robinson to talk more about what's next for our team.
Thank you, Ben. So moving forward from here, we have several key milestones in the manufacture of M21. These are our rolling, driving and flying deadlines. Rolling refers to us having all of our suspension and chassis components manufactured, resulting in a rolling chassis. Driving is where the car is able to drive under its own power with our powertrain system implemented, and flying is where our aerodynamics package is finished. However, this all culminates with our first autonomous drive with all of our autonomous systems operational in late August. So what does this all look like? To achieve this concept, we did have to set a rather aggressive timeline throughout the year. So with the team initially returning early in January, we had a month before we froze our design, allowing the team to polish their final designs and prioritise any integration matters that hadn't been dealt with. From there, we've moved into full manufacturing and outsourcing periods, and once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for making that possible. To ensure that we have sufficient time to test and refine all of our systems, as we've set an early driving deadline of the 19th of July, followed shortly by the completion of our aerodynamics package at flying, with our autonomous drive in early August. And then working back from there, we've also set our rolling deadline, which is only 2 weeks away from today. This gives us approximately 5 months to manufacture our most ambitious vehicle concept yet, and 3 to 4 months to complete our rigorous testing and validation period, all in the lead up to the main event for the year, the 2021 Formula SAE Australasian competition held in Winton at the start of December. And now I'd like to hand back to Ben Wang to introduce our special guest.
I'd now like to introduce the CEO and Chairman of SAE Australia, and the Director of Student Team, Scott Wordley, for a special presentation, especially for today. Oops.
Thanks, Ben, and I'd like to thank Ben for inviting me here tonight. It was at short notice, and it's my first time I've been here, and I really do appreciate the tour that Scott gave me of the facilities, and you guys must be very proud of what you have here. Before I talk about the reason I'm here, I just want to fill you guys in on what's happening this year with Formula at Winton. We all know what happened last year, and it was a very sad thing which we didn't control. This year, we are well and truly advanced in the planning to be returned to Winton in our full gear, back to normal. We do know what COVID can do, so we don't make any rash promises here. We expect to be running a pre-COVID type event. However, we have to also be appreciative that if things change, then we need to change with it. But at the moment, planning is to continue as we did in 2019. The other thing I want to talk about, and Paris Butiane is here tonight, which I assume you guys know quite well. And we've been working very closely with Paris. In 2019, we tried to do a on-track demonstration of a driverless vehicle. It didn't quite come off, but we had 3 teams come along to the event, and we had 3 static displays, and we had quite a good session there where other teams could talk to the more experienced, more successful AV teams, get a few ideas, and hopefully sow the seed for them to join the party and develop their own car. This year, as I said, with Paris's help, we are going to have a track demonstration. Not sure how many, we'll wait and see what the interest is, but we're planning on about 2 or 3 cars to do a track demonstration. If you guys recall the layout of the Winton, we'll do it on the skid pad. We'll set up a special track to demonstrate the vehicle with the same purpose as we had in 2019, but hopefully with a more attractive outcome, such as a car driving around with just hats. So that's our plan. Just a little bit of a easing of the mind here. We do encourage Monash to bring their autonomous vehicle. By the end of May, we expect to have the rules all sorted as to what is the requirement for tech inspection. But we're going to be very, very nice to you guys. Bring the car along. All we're going to be worried about is the safety aspect of your car's compliance, and not the rules. So what we're going to ask teams to do who do intend to participate in this demonstration is to tell us in advance where you think your car deviates from the 2021 rules, and let's talk about whether it's relevant or not to what we're trying to achieve here. So we do encourage you and other teams to participate in that. Another reminder, of course, is that registration is now open, so we do ask the teams register as soon as they can, so we know the size of the challenge we have ahead of us. Now, the main reason I came here tonight, and it's quite ironic because we have a perpetual trophy, which you guys recall, which was given to the overall winner each year. In 2016, which was actually won by Wollongong, was the last year in which we had a single class. Now we have the 2 classes. Before that, and I guess you guys know this better than I do. So in 2009, it was Monash. 2010, you know the story, etc., right through to 2015. Monash won every year. So first of all, congratulations to Scott. A fantastic team management of him to achieve that outcome. So the question is, what do we do with the trophy? Seemed to make a lot of sense to give it to Monash, because they seem to own it anyway with all the years they won. So with that, I'd like to hand over to the perpetual trophy, which is there perpetually staying at Monash, to Scott. Oh, Scott.
Thanks so much, Adrian. I just wanted to take a second to thank yourself and the team from the Society of Automotive Engineers Australia for more than 2 decades of incredibly hard work and passion to support this incredible competition. So we really thank you all. And thanks to all the alumni who have contributed to the success of the team over the years, and also our many friends and competitors from Australia and around the world. We really appreciate the opportunity to compete and to race with everyone every year, and we hope to see you again soon at Winton and back in Europe. Thanks, Adrian.
I'd now like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. This basically concludes the presentation for tonight. We will have an opportunity for questions, and the audience will be able to participate in that. Before we do that though, I'd just like to thank all of our sponsors, our team members, especially the business department for putting this event together tonight, and also for the technical departments for helping design a really ambitious and exciting vehicle concept that we look forward to sharing with you in more detail and hopefully physically in a couple months' time. Of note, I'd actually like to really extend my appreciation towards Leap Australia for helping us put together a lot of the renders that you saw tonight. Obviously, without a physical vehicle to photograph, we've had to depend a lot on keyshot renders, and thanks to our platinum sponsors, Leap Australia, we've been able to accomplish that. Finally, we will now be opening the floor up to questions, so if there's anyone else who would like to ask any questions, please do so. Following that, we will be continuing workshop tours for anybody who's interested. The food and drink will continue to be served, and please make sure you ask any questions that you want in person or online. Thank you very much for attending this presentation, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Do we have any questions? Well, I guess if that's all for tonight, then thank you all for coming along, and we look forward to spending a bit of time talking with you, sharing our new workshop with you, and have a lovely night. Thank you all for coming.